Welcome to Big Braids and Crypto. I'm your host, Mr. Big Braids, coming to you live from a reservation somewhere. I got the coffee and crypto going this morning. We're taking a look at the charts, see where everybody's at. I had some questions on GALA last night, and we're going to take a look at it. Now, everybody's got to remember that this is not financial advice. These are my views and opinions on the market, and you always got to do what's right for you. So, that being said, as far as GALA looking in for, GALA's looking pretty good, as far as the news goes, and a lot of these game coins are actually doing pretty good. Last night we talked about GALA already, and it actually must have got some FU money because that sucker started rolling. So we had this setup here to where we were going to get some steady growth in there, and this it did punch through this 325 line, and it's preparing for a possible another spree. So from here, the way it looks like, get one of these, and then up here for now, for today, a good price target would be, right up there around 53 cents. That's where it's looking like it's going, but you always got to look back at BTC too, So, and I, from everybody that watches the video and subscribes, I look for the best possible sales. So, if I was to look at this, and just with the way BTC is looking, I wouldn't be confident enough to buy into that sucker right there. For accumulation purposes, it's pretty good, but you don't want to buy something that's so new and you don't know where exactly it's going to go. Is that the total top of the coin? Because you don't want to be buying at tops and then then this stuff, drops back down to the bottom of the earth, and then you're just stuck there forever waiting for it to come back up, and that just totally sucks. So you don't want to be doing that. BTC here, yesterday we talked about it too. It's looking like it's going to come back and retest and do possibly, double bottom, and then, then we'll get that launch out of here, or we'll get some sideways action. Still looking for that, 52,000. That would be terrific. The past videos I've talked about that too. 52,000 would be great because a lot of the stuff would be on sale. That would give me perfect enough time to accumulate, wherever it needs to be accumulated at, and and that's what I'm looking for. That's the game plan, accumulation wherever I can, and I'm just thankful that that this thing. I know a lot of you don't want to hear that it hasn't taken off yet, or nothing's green lighted, and but I'm patient. I'm just waiting for it. I'm thankful that it's still at the area that it's at right now, because a lot of these are still on sale, and then once they start going to retail, so I still feel good because there's plenty of time left right now, so I'm not even worried about that. So but that's just the way I look at it, and this buys me a perfect amount of time, but with BTC, they don't, when it comes to that point, BTC don't give a f about anybody, and if it wants to rock it out of here, it's gonna rock it out of here, and if it wants to dip down to freaking the depths, that's what it's gonna do. So 52,000, I'm still looking for that, and is that going to affect the price of GALA? Good possibility, but when a lot of these coins get this FU money, they don't even care. Just look at like this, it's just plowing right out there already, and it's making some moves, but it looks like it's getting some testy. When I take a look at these, it looks like it's getting caught up on some resistance here, and probably get some pullback for one of these, and then this shot. Lately, as far as a lot of these coins, when they've been hitting the resistance this crypto season, they're getting some pretty decent pullbacks. So I can expect, this is what I'm looking for as far as just seeing that. It's starting to slow down right there. Some pullback back to 27 cents, and then one of these. But this season in crypto has been totally different. Everything's been pulling back to that 786 line. So 20 cents. I know that seems kind of low, but especially with what BTC is doing, we don't know if it's going to be a double bottom or if that sucker is going to drop down to 54,000 and test down there. But when just by looking at the pattern and by the way it's always looking, those are some signs that I look for. It looks double bottomish, and we won't know till it gets down to the 55,000 points. So as far as being patient, I'm just looking for when I'm looking for buy-ins, I wait for it to get to the lowest possible point. And I know it's easy to get caught up into the man, I'm going to miss out on it and just throw everything in, at this top part and see what happens. And then when it's getting down to this down here where it's going to correct, that's a lot of, a lot of stress pressure for anybody, I took my blood pressure pill this morning, if you can't handle that ride, that's, that's on you. But yeah, just make sure, you got to keep an eye on BTC, make sure it doesn't pass this 55,000 mark, 52,000, that's what I'm looking for. I mean, don't hate on me for that, but I'm looking for that sale throughout the, before December is coming, just, giving it 3 months patience, that's the way to play it, you can't just like rush into a lot of this stuff. And, everybody's, we got to look into this, GALA here is looking pretty good though. Um, so, that's what I'd be looking for as far as, some decent prices, especially, but I'm patient. I wait for those, and I'm very hopeful, especially with, some pullbacks and stuff, because, regardless, BTC is gonna, once they pair up, they just start basically doing whatever BTC does for a while till BTC gets out of here, and then after that they get some time to catch up. But regardless, it seems like it's relatively low. But with the, as far as I looked at, I believe it's 7 billion coins. So it's got a market cap of like 2 point something billion. But these game teams are freaking going. I've seen a few of them go straight. They've gone to $1, and that's billions of dollars. That's $7 billion in, like, not too long. So these projects must be pretty awesome. But I've also seen them, capitulate out and just fall off the face of the earth when something cooler comes out. So so with those, it's always best to get the best possible price you can. So those are some prices that I looked for. 20 cents would be awesome, because and a lot of these coins are doing that. They're just getting this little launch pad up here, and then coming right back down to, probably right about here, because it's got, some more resistance here. So I'd be looking for a shot like this, and then down here, and then one of these. Or look at, when you start seeing something like that set up, it's going a little bit further, and then back down and get one of these. So that'd be my ideal outlook on it, especially with the way BTC is looking. It's setting up exactly like that. So 27, and then that, that's pretty good. Those are some price actions to look for, as far as, looking for the lowest numbers I can, possibly see is, like a, 27, or even like a 20.20, those are some price targets to look for. But as far as buying up here, you always got to do what's best for you. And, GALA, that's what that's looking for. So, but, just got to keep an eye on it. This thing could just keep rocketing, and, shoots, what is this up here? 53 cents, 53 cents. That's pretty significant climbing it. Last night the sucker was at like 32 cents. So, and it was just now getting, so it's doing some climbing here. It was at 32 cents last night, and it's up to 37 cents, which is, some very significant growth. We'll look at, let's take a look at ASM over here. ASM looks like it's going pretty good. It's still getting that setup, especially, same with BTC too. If you look at the setup of how, ASM's looking, it's pretty paired up, especially with the BTC pullback. The BTC motion. So, just by looking at that, you see this pattern here, and then see it's the same pattern setup as BTC. So, BTC gets to 55,000. This is ASM's basically going to set up the same way. Unless some good FU money comes, and then that's what we're getting. But as you can tell, it's already starting to get that same setup as BTC. More than likely going to get some pullback down to what is this 11 or 12. And the way ASM's been riding, it's always with some growth on this. I've been looking for. Everybody's looking for those, higher lows, and with ASM, it seems like when she starts getting ready to take off, it's usually she'll give you just like about a micro cent, so where it's not quite a double bottom, but it's just like a cent higher, and then one of those, But that Q4 light still hasn't gone off, so Q3 light's still up. So until that light goes off, I really don't see anything happening with this one. It's probably just going to go sideways. But ASM is it's testing that 786 line, getting rejected. If it comes back down here, comes back up, gets rejected, it's definitely going to that 10 cent mark where I'm looking for it at. And that would be great on my part because I would love that accumulation. Especially this late into it. That would be an awesome price to look for. And I still, like I said earlier, I'm thankful that we're still getting some good time. And I know a lot of you guys don't want to hear that, but I'm very thankful that I still get time to accumulate, and I'm not missing the train on a lot of these things. So, but that's just my plan. So looking at that, let's take a look at SHIB here. SHIB here is looking like it's doing a little bit of the dippy. It's people are putting some pretty good price targets on Shiba. I really don't mess with Shiba because just the history of it. If you're not in Shiba already, it's pointless to get them into that thing. So uh, you know Shiba's Shiba. It's doing the sideways action like we talked to about a few weeks ago. Let's see, masks has been steadily going up and down between it got itself up to close to 20, and then looks like it's beginning a little bit of a downtrend on that part there. Probably back down to, even just looking at it, it's going to come back down, and it's setting up just the same thing with BTC. As you can tell, it's still got that on the bottom channel. It's waiting for BTC. BTC's got this little red going, double bottom, and then some more action like that, and then everybody, you can get a green candle all you want. When BTC starts leaving you behind, you're going to get some pullback, and then you're going to wait until BTC freaking does whatever it's going to do, and let's see, let's take a look at this here. I apologize for that. We're getting some comments as we're going. So I guess I'll have to answer that one on the next one. So let's take a look at XLM. XLM, I've been keeping an eye on this one as well. And, look at this. XLM got a little bit more force behind it from what I'm seeing. It's got some news. I know somebody commented last night with the MoneyGram thing. That came out a while back, but still there's getting its hands into just about a lot of different projects, and it's just it's people wonder why a lot of these bigger coins don't really they don't really move the way they're supposed to. But as far as XLM's been here for a long time. There's always when you're looking at projects, there's an S curve. So I have projects in multiple different covers, areas of the S curve, and that's what I look at, whereabouts they are in that S curve, because you have the, I'll just do a little presentation here. So, following that S curve here, a lot of projects are at the bottom, which is a slow process. Once they start getting their project underway, you start reaching that, mid-level, which is usually a lot of fast growth. And as far as money goes out about it, you get the development, and it's growing pretty fast. And then this is basically the teen years in as far as projects go. And then once they start to make it to the top parts here, they start getting a steady when they're basically what would you call it? A company that's sitting there at senior level, and then that's when the prices start kind of, going like sideways and less volatile at the top. So, when I seen that quote by Michael Saylor yesterday, he was talking about how, if once BTC gets up to 150,000, how the volatility rate would kind of go by. And I think about that too. And once BTC gets up to 100,000, 150,000, it's going to get to a point where nobody's going to be able to afford it. So it's going to be. I talked about this the other night. It's going to be kind of, there's only going to be certain people that's going to go over and say, I want to buy 10 Bitcoin at freaking 150,000. That's just, just madness right there. So, at that point, volatility is probably going to go down, and then we're just going to be looking at the coins that are just basically going to be, XLM is going to follow that pattern of BTC and catch up, and wherever it ends up at, that's where it's going to end up at. People get some high numbers on XLM. Let's see, what's another coin that's doing pretty good. Keep's holding up pretty dang good. As far as the price action on Keep, After BTC gets to 150,000, keep you can see it's holding steady at like maybe dollar 50, in that area going sideways. I've been keeping my eye on keep. That's something that everybody should have kept. It says it's right in its name, but it. Uh, so keeps it's a 3% as far as this looks. It's making some runs at it. It's holding good. Even through all the dips and stuff. Keeps actually pretty awesome. It's actually an awesome project. People are holding on to that pretty good. Uh, DNT took a pretty good hit the other day. It got down to 14 cents, which is actually holding pretty good. As far as DNT, you don't really hear about that too much, but it's got that BTC pair, and it's doing the same process. Like I said, we still got to keep an eye on things because a lot of these pair up and they look, they're basically running and holding up, waiting for BTC to run. So when you're keeping an eye on just one project, that's basically where you get caught up, and you get caught up in just looking at that same project, and you don't get to, open your eyes and kind of look around and say, what, a lot of these are doing the same thing. And you'll notice that with different projects. So that's why it's good to diversify, and because some of your tokens are going to be going up and some of them be dipping, and so when you really got to balance that out, and that's right the reason why I'm always going to have a little bit of mixture of everything. So, but that's just my plan, and that's how I do things. I know a lot of people like to go just all ripping in everything on one coin, and I mean. Sure, I'm not going to pass that up because that does work too. Whatever works for you that's what's going to work for you. So, but this is my plan this year. So, but let's take a look here. Heroes, geez, here like the other day, this sucker was sitting at 8 cents, and it's looking like it's getting some heat going. I mean, that's a pretty good. That's like 8, topped out at 13. Looks like it's sitting at resistance, waiting for the next move, and yeah, this one's trucking along. I mean, congratulations to whoever got in on that sucker. I'm pretty happy for you. That's pretty awesome right there. I mean, that looks like classic bull flag right there, like perfection. And that's what when you're looking at the bottoms and you're looking for the sales, and man, these setups are actually pretty awesome. As you can tell, you had the upward crawl. And then you had your capitulation, and then it just got bought up, and then boom. And here's everybody sitting up here, and it's testing its resistance, and when it's coming back, and you got this resistance line here, you can see it there. And when these coins start moving and they get over the resistance and start using their previous resistance as support, you get that launch. It's coming back down for a double test here, and you could get some launch here, but still BTC, even though it's starting to move like that, BTC could make a move and pull it back down to where it's beginning at. And then but just by seeing that move, that Hero's bullish as hell, and I'd start looking for some buying prices down here. But like I said, that's just my outlook on it. Let's see, scales down a little bit here. Got that same setup, Here we go here. Here we go here. More than likely setting up for lower. That's why it's good to take a look at multiple coins, because it kind of gives you a feel of what's going to look like, an average of what everything's going to do. But that's just the way I look at things, because a lot of these with the BTC pair, they really start to show you what's happening. So scale here is looking like a little bit of dippy action going on with there. WCFG is actually under $1.50, but oh damn, dollar came down to $1.30. That's pretty killer. So, but WCFG has been staying between $1.80 and $2. So these are some awesome prices here as far as this goes with the wrapped coins. I'm surprised it's been staying so low, but that's surprising because crypto's been surprised. It's been really different this year. So usually the wrapped coins, that was one of my first specifics that it was going to go, and then all these wrap coins we always seem to like head out, $1, $2, and they're sitting up there at like $20, So, but this year nobody didn't even touch the sucker with, stick, and then everybody goes in on a stable coin and freaking takes off. And then, oh man, I still feel bad about that for everybody that freaking got wiped out on that sucker. And then QNT's got some pretty awesome prices here, sitting at like 230. Same setup here. It's got that BTC pair going on we can hope for one of these, but the dippy could still happen. We get down to either back down to 190, QNT at 190, and we've seen QNT at 400. I believe that was like probably the all-time. I'm not too sure I can't remember what the all-time high on QNT was, but I know it gets up to around 405, and that's pretty decent double up action as far as as far as my looking at it, and people talk about it being at 1,000 or 2,000. That's a good possibility that could happen too. So, good to keep an eye on, And then we talked about NKN yesterday, and we had those few dips that came up. Accumulation sales here, and then then here. This is looking like it's going to double test here, but I'm still looking for that 44 range as far as even a 42. That would be awesome, especially if BTC pulls back down to 52,000 for some accumulation on NKN. But other than that, everything looks. I mean, we're just waiting on BTC to see what the next move is. We'll get some. Do another video later on this evening. So yeah, I'm just gonna sit back and watch these grids, and I finish my cup of coffee here, and but yeah, you also have a good morning. Quick update. So anybody else wants some more updates for tomorrow morning's show, make sure you like, subscribe, leave a comment, and we'll get your coins up here on the board here. And for those of you that just not commented, I'll get to those questions later. We'll do that on the next video, and then we're already ripping up at 21 minutes. So yeah, Mr. Big Braid signing out. You always have a good day.